Hey everybody, it's Anthony, and I wanted to show you something that I built off of a spreadsheet that Carly Dirk created. And this is a way for you to take a unit test where the questions are tied to standards, um, look at student performance on each question, and then group students according to need based on how they performed on each standard. So, to get started, we will go to the Netzeberg nest, and I've added to this page here that says assessment, data tracking, and more. And our assessment tracker, our data tracker is still right there on the top. There's still a link there. But if you go down to the next item, this is using unit tests to form groups for win time, for the what I need time. And I have instructions written out here, but this video is meant to show you what that looks like, just in case there's any confusion, especially getting started, because there's some setup for each thing. So for each unit test that your grade level gives, I'm pretty sure this could work with any test that has 6 or fewer standards and 30 or fewer questions. It should be fine with any of those, either math or ELA, and I can edit it so that it works on more tests if we want to use this going forward. So to make your copy of the spreadsheet for one unit test, let's say you had a unit 5 test that you gave, a math unit 5 test for grade 4. So the chair of the grade level would copy the unit test grouping by standard spreadsheet, clicking right here. You'll see something pop up like this that says make a copy. Yes, I want to make a copy. And it's thinking a little bit, it's doing its job. And the first thing I want to do, just to be able to track this down later, is rename it. I've left some blank spaces here. So again, let's say this is copy of unit 5, I'm sorry, copy of math unit 5 test for 4th grade. There we go. And the first thing I want to do, I can go ahead and change this question mark to a 4. I'm sorry, to a 5. And in this first box on these colored areas, this is where you're going to put in the different standard. So I know this isn't accurate, but I'm going to totally make it up. And let's say this first standard is subtraction. I know it's more complicated than that, but I'm just going to put in subtraction. For this one, I'll put in addition. And for this standard, I'll put in uh, fractions. And for this standard, I'll put in multiplication. And this one will be decimals. And let's say there is no last standard, so you don't even want to worry about it. Fine, you can just leave this blank. You can even delete it if you want, if you don't want to see it anymore. Um, if you do have a standard there, you can add that in, but I just wanted to show you that you don't have to have something in all of these colors. And next is numbering the questions. Let's say you've got questions 1, 2, and 3. They all cover that subtraction standard. And then question 4 is actually an addition question. 5 is an addition question. And then fractions, that's question 6 and 7 and 8. I'm making all of this up, of course, everybody. So you're going to use whatever your test says. 9, 10, uh, 11, 12. Let's say there were a lot for this one. 13 decimals. Let's say there was only one question for decimals. That's it. This test, let's say I had 14 questions. And then I know the tests have different values for different questions. So we want to be able to have another row for that. Let's say the first question is worth 1. This one is worth 1. This one was worth 1. This one's worth 1, but this one's worth 3. This one's worth 2. This one's worth 1. This one's worth 1. This one's worth 3. 1, 3, and so on. I'll just fill in some values. So you've put the question number and the value of each question. And next, what you could do just to make things a little easier for your grade level is hide these other columns that you don't need. If you don't need them, hide them. And to hide them, you're just selecting both columns. You can right click and hide those columns. Don't delete them. Don't delete those columns, hide them. And now they're out of your way. I don't need these columns, so I'm going to right click and hide them. This is optional. You don't have to do the hiding, but it might make it easier for the other people on your grade level to put in their data. That way they don't have to skip over those blank columns. So you just hide those columns, and there they are. They are hidden. Next, you need to put in your student names or your student identifiers. I think we're trying to keep this relatively anonymous. So student identifiers over here in column A. I suggest you do like teacher. This is what Ms. Dirk was doing with fourth grade. Teacher name and then the student number. Teacher name, student number. And let's say we had 3 students from Mr. Devine's class, 3 students from Mr. Gilmore's class, 3 students from Miss Thomas's class. So there we go. Small classes, and then we can start putting in their performance on each one. So let's say this student got everything right for these ones. Awesome. Let's say the student got 0 on this one and 2 on this one. 0 on this one, 0 on this one, and 1 on this one. But they did great here. 3, 1, 3, 2, 2, 2. All right, so I can keep going and adding in all the data for my students. And because I've shared this with the other people on my grade level team, like put in the other people here and make sure they have editing rights. Like I have Dr. Thomas. I'm going to make her an editor. I have Mr. Gilmore. I want to make him an editor. And then when I send that to them, they'll be able to put their student scores on here too. And I want to keep going here. I'll just copy this data, even though I know you would very carefully put in student data. We'll edit things a little bit so that I've got 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So I've edited the data. Let's say that this was all real data. Here, let's change this one a little bit. All right, so I've added in all my data. This is what you'll do as a team. And then the other thing you can do as a team is decide, all right, this is all color coded according to the district's color coding. They have 70 or higher is this color. So if students scored 70 or higher on that standard, that's what color it will be. If the student scored below 50%, it's going to be highlighted in this color, and that's kind of your red flag. The students need help with that standard. If it's not below 50%, but it's not above 70, it just won't be highlighted any color. It'll just be here. See if we can get one to be below. There we go. It just won't be highlighted at all. That's like the gray area. So we've put our data in. We see some color coding over here. Now we have to decide which group do I want these students to be in. This one's pretty easy because this student has one red area. So we want to have this student in this group. This one's also easy. We have this 33% area, this low area. So we want the student in that group. We want this student in that group too. This student seemed to be doing well on everything, so there's not really a red area, but they did score 50% in this area, so we'll have them go in that group. And then the student, again, we've got one here. Same deal here. The student didn't really have any red areas, but there was that gray area, this in-between area. And this student had lots of red. So your job as an educator here would be to judge which standard do I really think this person needs. So this was a standard on fractions, this was on multiplication, but man, this kid still doesn't get addition. I think we want that student to be in the addition group. And here we go. We'll put this student here, we'll put this student there. And what happens when you check these boxes, one per row, by the way, that makes the next part a lot better. When you click those boxes, students get sorted into groups over here. So you know, okay, these are the kids in our classes that need help with subtraction. These are the kids who need help with addition, with fractions, and so on. And this area, you can't really. I've tried to make it so you can't really edit it too much, but you can copy and paste over here. So let's say subtraction ended up being 15 students long. You can just highlight like the first five, copy them, and over here you're going to have, okay, I'm going to paste and, oh, back. I'm going to copy again. Very important. Right click, paste special values only. Otherwise, it's trying to bring over the formulas. You just want the values. So this way you'll be able to say, this is group one, this is group two, if you want to create your groups on this sheet. Or you can just use this information to put your groups like on a Google Doc or a Word doc or something else. But I think that's it. So this is a tool designed for you to um, figure out which standards do students need the most help with according to that last unit test, whatever it happened to be. And like I said before, I'm pretty sure that you could use this with an ELA test as well. You would just have to follow the same protocols where put in their standards up here, put in the questions. As long as it doesn't go above, I think I have 30 places here. As long as it doesn't go above 30, you can use it. And I can modify it if we need it to be more than that. Then you put in the question value and the student scores for each question. Um, and that's it. I hope this is useful for you. I am definitely up for walking you through it at a team meeting sometime, at a grade level meeting if you are not sure how to use this. I hope it saves you time. I'll end with, if it doesn't save you time, if you're like, man, I've already got a system for doing this and I don't want to use this crazy spreadsheet, go for it. Use your system. This is just something that might save time to get people into those groups because I know that's a hassle. Thanks for watching and have a great day.